A very good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Let us start off with the business session for today, and we have only one update, that is from the VP end. Over to you, Toastmaster Sindhushree.
You can be seated.
Hello everyone. For next week we have one speaking slot that is booked by Toastmaster Das, and along with that we also have evaluation slot booked by Toastmaster Gajendra. And apart from that, all the other roles are open for grabs. And please contact me if you want to take up any other roles. And thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sindhushree. The Sergeant can take over.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We are here to celebrate the small wins of overcoming fear in public speaking and creating the content and delivery of speeches. I recollect the initial days of joining Toastmasters, the role of Grammarian gave me the winning vibe. The more I listened to the speakers, the more I could jot down the good usages and good phrases in their speech. It's not about the tiny wins. The tiny wins helps us to develop our resilience and motivates us to take up more roles or do more things. Winning is not about coming first in competition with another person. It is more of acknowledging our progress in competence with our yesterday. The small wins of today helps us to pave path for our future success. One such person who has created many such small wins and acknowledges it is currently pursuing her MBA in Christ University. She is passionate about mandala art. Her go-to therapy is dance and music. Her interest in leadership, her interest in enhancing her leadership qualities has led her to become the president of Mekong Communication Club. Please put your hands together and welcome President Toastmaster Pavani.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jyothi, for such a wonderful introduction. A very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. So we have a guest today with us. Could you please stand up from wherever you are and introduce about yourself in one or two lines and how you got to know about our club?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sai Snehal, and I basically got to know about Toastmasters when I was in Manipal for the first time. And then after that, I had come to the St. Mark's Toastmaster Club, and then through that I came here because it's the closest, so that way I could learn, better my English skills.
Welcome to our club. Thank you, and you are at the right place, I would say. So now I would request our secretary, Toastmaster Shreya, to read out the minutes of meeting of previous meeting.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Here are the minutes of meeting number 1301 held on the 20th of January 2025. The theme was antagonism in stories and the word of the week was ubiquitous. The business session started at 6:24 p.m. and it was chaired by President Toastmaster Pavani CR. In the business session, the following points were addressed. The Vice President of Education, Toastmaster Sindhushree, has mentioned that all other roles are open for the next meeting. Apart from Table Topic Master, interested members were requested to contact her for the same. She also announced that the speech contest shall be held on 24th February 2025. DTM U Bhat suggested that 2 or 3 weeks of interaction between the mentor and mentee could avoid undue stress and create better content and speech delivery for the participants. The regular meeting started at 6:30 p.m. Sergeant-at-Arms Toastmaster Madhusudan started the meeting with an introduction about the theme and then handed over the charge to President Toastmaster Pavani. President Toastmaster Pavani opened the meeting, spoke on the theme and introduced the Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Raja. Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Raja spoke on the theme and introduced the following role takers for the day. Timer Toastmaster Jia, R-Counter Toastmaster Giri, PP Evaluator Toastmaster Apoorva and Grammarian Toastmaster Kushal. The prepared speaker session had the following speakers: Toastmaster Balraj, who completed Level 1 Project 1 of Presentation Mastery, evaluated by Toastmaster Sakshi, and Toastmaster Gajendra, who completed Level 1 Project 4 of Engaging Humor, evaluated by Toastmaster Sindhushree. The table topic session was conducted by Toastmaster Bhavana and it had 12 speakers. The general evaluation was conducted by Toastmaster Jyothi. The winners of the week were Best Prepared Speaker Toastmaster Gajendra, Best Evaluator Toastmaster Sindhushree, Best Table Topic Speaker Toastmaster Sai Snehal, Best Role Taker TAPG Toastmaster Jia, Best Role Taker MTG Toastmaster Raja. The President closed the meeting at 8:24 p.m. followed by the National Anthem. Thank you and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreya. Are there any amendments to the minutes of the meeting? If not, I shall consider this as accepted and open meeting number 1302. If I say success or a successful person, what comes to your mind or who comes to your mind? Can anyone name a few? If I tell success, what comes to your mind? Elon Musk. Okay. Okay. Anyone?
Dhoni.
Dhoni. Okay.
Tata. Ratan Tata.
Yeah. Thank you.
Travis.
Right. Yes. So success has different meaning for all of us, and it's a different role model for all of us. Some might think it as a healthy lifestyle. Some might feel success to be a good job, and for some it might be scoring good marks. But I would like to introduce a ridiculously persistent role model for success, that is the mosquito. Yes, you heard that right. That tiny, annoying, nearly weightless insect that somehow manages to ruin your peaceful nights, disrupt your conversations, and make us do the most embarrassing dance moves. And yet, they are undefeated. They have 0.0001% of body mass compared to a human being, and they can't punch, they can't kick, they don't really have real strength. But what really surprises is that they don't give up. And that is the power of small wins. So a mosquito does not stop because you shoo it away. It comes back again and again and again. Just like in life, we often fail for the first time, second time, or even the 10th time. That mosquito doesn't try to take down a lion, or it doesn't want to achieve great things in life, right? It doesn't aim at doing big things. It picks a single achievable goal and find a soft spot and attack. In life, we try to aim for bigger things and do many things at once. But for mosquito, it just focuses on one goal that it can achieve. They don't wait for long, they don't wait for grand celebrations. The moment they get what they want, they fly in victory. They fly away in victory. When that tiny mosquito can do this, why don't we as a human being in our own lives inculcate this habit of celebrating that small wins? And how often we do that, right? So in college, every week we have a class called HED, which is Holistic Educational Development. And in one of the classes, the faculty was talking about the topic of accountability and integrity. During that time, we had a class activity where we were asked to tick beside 10 things that was given, and we had to tell our score in the end to the faculty. So the list goes like this: set your goals, track your progress, own your mistakes, meet deadlines, seek feedback, communicate effectively, follow the rules, practice self-reflection, avoid excuses, and lastly, celebrate small wins. these were the points that we were asked to score and tick beside it if we are doing that, if we are able to do that thing. And I scored a 6. A few of them scored a 7 or 8 also, but majority of us were between 4 and 5. The most ticked item on this list was set your goals. That was the most ticked item because everyone had goals and everyone had ticked that item. But the least ticked item was to avoid excuses and celebrating small wins. When the faculty actually asked us all like what was the reason behind it, there was one guy who stood up and told that, and most of them actually agreed to his point also. So he said, I never celebrate small wins because I always feel like I have a long way to go, and what's the point of celebrating even before I have achieved my bigger dreams or like my bigger goals. That's what he said, and like most of us agreed and told the faculty, yes, we do agree to the same. And that, fellow Toastmasters, is where we often go wrong. We set massive goals and we overlook that small steps to actually achieve that goal. That a mosquito, when you see a mosquito, it doesn't wait for anything and it doesn't need any external validation. It keeps going one bite at a time. And we should do the same. If you have learned something new today, celebrate it, acknowledge it, and if you have had that more confidence than the previous week, accept it, celebrate it, and just like the mosquito, celebrate the small wins. Now, before a mosquito interrupts this moment, let's welcome our debutant MC for today to continue the show. She has completed her MBA in HR specialization and currently she is working as the HR manager. If you don't find her in Toastmasters, you will find her playing a guitar, doing mandala art, baking, or planning for her next adventure. She is planning for the next adventure. With that, I would like to give it up for our MC for today, Toastmaster Sakshi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pavani, for the wonderful introduction. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
In life, we often focus on big milestones, promotions, big events, or major achievements. But what about the small wins? The everyday victories that we sometimes overlook. Today, we are going to remind ourselves the power of celebrating these small wins because these are as important as the big ones. 2 days ago, it was my anniversary and I was telling my husband, let's celebrate. He simply looked at me and said, why just celebrate anniversary? We should celebrate every day. Honestly, that made me pause and think. And I had an epiphany right then. Why do we wait for special moments, special occasions to celebrate when every day holds small wins that deserve recognition? Think about it. Waking up early and actually doing your exercises without snoozing, without pushing the snooze button 10 times. Or delivering a Toastmaster speech without blanking out in between the speech. These little moments may feel small, but they are epiphanies in their own way. They add up, and when we celebrate, when we take time to celebrate them, we build momentum and fuel for even bigger ones. And here is the key. Celebration doesn't always mean throwing a party or eating a cake. Of course, though that is great, but celebration actually means acknowledging in the way that matters to you the most. It can be, you can reward yourself, or you can take a moment to tell yourself, yes, I did great today. You can reward yourself by giving a break, or simply feeling good, yes, I did something good today, yes. And Toastmaster is the perfect example of how small wins can lead to greater success. Over hundreds of years ago, Ralph C. Smedley founded Toastmasters, a Toastmaster club, one small win at a time. And today, Toastmaster is being spread across 150 countries and more than 270,000 plus members. Let's get started and make today a celebration of progress, no matter how small. A typical Toastmaster meeting consists of 3 sessions. First is prepared speeches, where members deliver well-prepared speeches guided by their chosen pathway. Second session is the table topic, an impromptu speaking section where participants think on their feet. And the third session is the general evaluation, a session dedicated to providing constructive feedback to help everyone grow. So now, let us hear from our TAPG team. I request them to briefly explain their roles. First, the timer, Toastmaster Sachin.
Good evening everyone. I'll be the timer for the day. So first, coming to the prepared speeches, the time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I'll raise the green flag. At 6 minutes, I'll raise the yellow flag. And at 7 minutes, I'll raise the red flag. Coming to the table topic sessions, the time allotted is 1 to 2 minutes. At minute 1, I'll raise the green flag. At 1 minute 30 seconds, I'll raise the yellow flag. And at 2 minutes, I'll raise the red flags. And note to all the speakers, if you exceed the time allotted by more than 30 seconds, you won't be eligible for the ribbon. I'll give my report at the end of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Now, can we have Toastmaster Boopathi as the R counter for today?
Good evening everyone. Today I am taking the role R counter. I will count filler weights R, M and repeated weights and passes. I will give the report at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Boopathi. Next, we have Toastmaster Saketh as the PP Evaluator.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. I'm the PPE for today's meeting, and as PPE, I would request everyone to enter or exit the room during an applause and not apart from it. And I request everyone to keep your phones on silent or in vibration. And I request everyone to not talk about sex, religion or politics behind the lectern, and also avoid cross talks. And I'll give my report at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saketh. Lastly, we have Grammarian for today, Toastmaster Gajendra.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests present here. As a grammarian, my job is to note down the use of the good English language and to tell the word of the day and how many times people have noted. The word of the day is epiphany. It's a very common word we use nowadays. I won't give that example, but an example of epiphany I had was during writing my CAT exam. I had an epiphany that it won't go well. It's like that. And the meaning is a moment of sudden great realization. Like, oh my god, this is epiphany. It's like that. So I'll be giving the, and I over dramatic, okay. I'll be giving the results in the end of the day. Thank you.
Alright, thank you Gajendra, Toastmaster Gajendra. Let's dive right in and start today's session. I am excited to introduce our guest speaker, someone who not only knows how to make complex software look easy, but also knows how to wow an audience with a great presentation. He reads 20 books in a year. Our speaker for today, DTM Prathik, a senior software developer at Microsoft, district semi-finalist at the International Speech Contest and former Division A director. Today, he is here to help us level up ours, especially in the areas of presentation. Whether you are looking to impress your colleagues, your clients, or your family with your next PowerPoint presentation, DTM Pratik is going to show us how to make sure our presentation stands out from the crowd. So let's give a warm Toastmaster style welcome to our guest speaker, DTM Pratik.
Fine. Namaste everyone. I welcome all of you to this meeting. I will be taking you through how you can create.
If you want, you can take this out, I think. Lecture.
Okay.
He will help you.
Yeah. So we will look at how.
Filter it down.
Right, so today we'll take all of you through how you can create some awesome presentations. Right? One epiphany that I had today was with respect to the theme, right, which was about celebrating small wins. We had 3 laptops, initial 2 didn't work, but finally the third one worked. So let's all celebrate that. Yeah, a big round of applause for Udanka for making the presentation work. Right, celebrating small wins. Right, with that, let's start off. Now, to create any awesome presentation, there are 4 different steps, right? Abbreviated as ICED, ICED, which stands for Intent, Content, Execution, and Design. So let's start with the very first one, which is the intent stage. Now, to give any presentation, right, you should have your general purpose. Why are you giving that presentation? Are you giving it to inform? Are you giving it to motivate someone, or are you giving it to persuade someone? So let's understand these 3 slightly more detail. If you are giving a technical presentation, right, the one that like the one that I am doing today, that falls under the first category. I am just here to come inform you people about how can you give really good presentations. Coming to second case, which is presentations to motivate, right? Usually see in your company where the senior leadership is trying to motivate the entire team on probably what next year are we supposed to do or the long-term goal. That comes under motivation. Now there are times where you are either a sales, you are gonna give your presentation to your client, or if in software companies you have sometimes presentation you give to your decision maker. So all of those comes under persuasion. So are we clear with the difference between these 3? Yeah. Right. In addition to this general purpose, you also need to have a very specific purpose in your presentation, which is what is the takeaway, what is the message for the audience, what should they go away with. Like for persuasion, they should have enough information that they are persuaded to to take whatever opinion you want to take. For motivation, it is you want them to be motivated, or in case of technical presentation, it is some understanding of what you are talking about. So this is a very, very important thing. Right. The most important thing is called know your audience. Right. Now the same presentation that you give in front of probably say your teammates who have a lot more idea about what you are giving may not work when you give someone at a very senior leadership level, because they might not know the nitty-gritties. You might have to go into detail and explain them what it is. So let's do a small exercise. Okay. Go through all of this and let's see how many ever you are able to know from this. I just need a count of meaning of how many of this do you know. we have 11 of these. Anybody wants, how many does anybody know? All 11, anyone?
I think I know a couple of them.
Okay, how many? I did the count.
Except for 1 or 2.
I think
Okay.
I know 5, yeah.
You are at 5, he's at I guess 9. Okay, which are the 2 that you don't know?
The last one.
Okay.
Yeah, only that one. Yeah, only the last one.
Only the last one. Okay, he's at 10. Right. So so this is from different walks of life, and what you realized was that not everybody knows everything, right? There are people at 5, there will be people lesser, there's somebody at 10, let's at least give him applause. Right? Right. Next up, once the intent part is clear, once you know your audience, once you know what you want to talk about, the next step is about the content. Right. So every presentation needs to cover 3 W's and 1 H. Does anybody wants to say what is 3 W's and 1 H?
What, how,
Who,
what, who, where, and how.
Right, so it is about what, why, and one of the other W's, right? Based on what kind of presentation you are giving, the other one may change, and the how. So every presentation needs to at least cover these things. Right, so what is the focus of the presentation? Right. So it says attention span. The concept refers to the length of time a person can focus on a task before getting distracted. That is, being involuntarily drawn to a different activity. According to studies, the today's average human span is about 8.25 seconds. Right? For a giraffe, it may be a minute. Attention span is crucial because focusing on a topic for a long period allows people to develop listening skills and analytical skills that help a person make a decision later on. Okay. Now, does anybody remember what is that? How many of you remember the attention span of giraffe?
One minute.
How many of you? Okay, remember that was the question. Raise up and now everyone gave the answer, right? But I'm sure some of you missed it. Yeah. Right. So the thing is, the entire slide could have been covered in just these few words, right? Whereas you could have actually spoken what was there. You might have had to memorize it, but memorize and speak about it. So, whereas in the earlier case, when everyone was busy reading what was there on the screen, no one was paying attention to me, right? Whereas in this case, you have seen the data point and your focus is back on me. Right, so more the words that you have, it is the PPT which is the focus. The less the words that you have, it is the speaker who is the focus. And we all know whom do we want to be at the focus. And the person who is giving the presentation, he of course wants himself to be at the focus. Right, but in a lot of cases what might happen is, especially in a corporate environment where a lot of times we do send out those sliders later as a mailers, or even in sales cases, right? The client might want to look at your presentation in detail. In that cases, you can have a different text-heavy section for them to later read or consume, or that can be a different presentation itself which you mail them versus what you present, so that all the people who didn't attend your meeting can also understand what you are talking about. Right, so I mean this is a famous proverb all of you would have heard, and picture speaks 1,000 words, right? Yeah, so this was some research which was done. It says here a piece of information and 3 days later they will remember about 10% of it, right? But the moment you add a diagram or slide or some kind of audio visual thing, the retention rate goes up to 65%. So whenever you can in your presentation, try adding images, at least for the important sections, so that people do remember that. Right. Does anybody know who has said this? Yeah. Okay. Right. This is Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. This is the starting of his speech. Okay. Now you might assume you remember it because these are the starting few lines of his speech. Yeah. Right, if I ask anybody to narrate slightly more lines, none of us know. Okay. Similar thing, we have one more. Does anybody know who said this?
Martin Luther King Jr.
Yes, Martin Luther King Jr. But the surprising thing is, this is actually not the starting of a speech. This comes somewhere in the middle, right? So the point is, it's not necessary that, okay. The point is not necessary that people, okay, one second. Yeah, the point is not that it's not always the starting of the speech that people will remember. Any important highlights of your speech which sticks with the audience, it stays. Okay? So create those moments in your speech where the person will remember your speech. Yeah, yes. Yes, so that the people remember the important things in your speech. You need to create those memories, those sections in your speech which a person would remember. Right. So okay. Next, let's look at. Normally, when we give presentation at our companies or even in case of even sales presentation, right, we avoid telling stories. Right? We just start off with, hey, this is what I'm going to talk about, talk to the slides, all of that. But you can always start your thing with a story because from time immemorial, people are used to listening to stories, right? Even especially in the caveman days, whenever somebody said a story, it meant that he's saying something really important, right? So our brains have got wired into listening to stories more attentively. So always start something with a story. I'll give you one simple example, right? So there was this feature at my company that I was working on, which is about given a meeting, what is the quality of your network and all of that. So I had to present that feature in front of a bigger leadership team, and this is how I began. I started it off with a very small story, which is this is what used to happen. This is what happened at one of my previous companies. They had taken up a complete new building, and 4 or 5 of us were made to work in that office. Right? What we started noticing was that randomly the person was coming, like the last person who comes in, he usually used to have some network issues or not able to connect and all that issues he faced. Right? We assume probably the company what is doing is, since he's coming late, right, they are trying to somehow make sure that he comes on time. Right? Versus there was a real network issue which if the IT admin of the company had access to whatever we had built, right, he would have himself found it out and solved it. Because whenever we said it was so random that he was initially not able to find it out. But had he had access to something like this, right, he would have clearly been able to find it than causing so much of lost man hours for all of us. Right, he could have got it solved. So that's how I began the presentation of the feature with a small story, and I went about talking about my feature. Right. Next up is let's look at execution. So for now we have our content ready, we have what we want to present ready. Now let's look at execution. Now for most Toastmasters, they are pretty familiar with most of the things that I'm going to talk about in terms of execution, which is engage the audience. Right? It may not always have to be just text. You can include questions to your audience. You can add a few relevant jokes so that their attention always comes back. Because if you are the only one who's speaking non-stop, half of the audience would have lost you. Okay, so in the middle, once you ask questions or you share jokes, their attention automatically comes back. Again, usual Toastmaster stuff of avoiding fillers, crutch words, and eye contact, right? Also to ensure that you have a vocal variety. Right, now vocal variety consists of, I'm sure all Toastmasters know, which is pitch, pace, power, and pause. Okay, and I'll just explain this for the benefit of the new members, new Toastmaster member, right? So pace is obvious, how fast and how slow you speak. Right? Power is how high, how loud or how slow you speak. Right? Pause is giving a pause and the relevant section, which is about stressing important parts. Right? That is pitch, pace, power, and pause. Clear, everyone? Yes. Yeah. Right. Then there are a lot of times where you might have to give a demo. especially in sales or even in a IT kind of a field, right? You might have to demo a feature, you might have to demo a product. Now the common question which a lot of people ask is, hey, should I normally give a live demo or should I have a video ready and present that, right? So my personal opinion over here is that always have a demo video ready and show that. In case if they ask for a live in-person demonstration, you can always show that, because what happens is, in case of whatever reason that day your live demo doesn't work, right? Then going back and saying that, hey, I have a video, let me show that, looks bad. Right? Versus you directly just showing them a video, they'll at least be convinced, okay, this works. And if they want to know more, you can always, if the thing for some reason is not working, you can always go back and tell, in the interest of time, I can show later, or one of those excuses, and you can just move on. Right. Last up, we will look at the design aspect. Right. When you're creating a presentation, it is not just about that. It's also about how do you really design a good presentation. And in case of a presentation, size does matter. From size, I'm referring to the font size, right? Which is how big a text is. Yeah. And so this is what the standard guidelines is, which is have as big of a heading as possible, right? At least a 40 pixels, so that the people at the back can also see. Again, body has to be decently well legible, about 30 pixels, and anything small, which is not really important. Like a few of the slides that you saw, what source I took from, that can mean a really small font, because that's not that really necessary. Right. It is also very important that you maintain a good contrast between the foreground and the background, that is FG and the BG, right? So that for people with glasses or people with any kind of vision impairment, they are able to see, because otherwise, what if your important stakeholder himself is having like a vision impairment, and if he's not able to see what you're saying, he might be distracted, and you would have lost him at the very beginning itself. Now the another thing is whether you need to have a black on white or a white on black, right? That is up to personal preference. I personally prefer a black background with a white text, because then the focus on the slide is as less as possible, right? The focus is entirely on me, so that is what I prefer. But there is no hard and fast rule. You guys can pick anything. Right. Also another thing for all of you guys to remember is that there are sometimes people create slides with all different kinds of colors, right? One slide, on the slide, the color completely changes. Avoid doing that. You can stick to just 2 to 3 colors in your entire slide. That is what is sufficient. Even in case at times when you are giving a sales presentation where you have to show this much of the sales that I did, like any kind of charts or graphs and all of that, I would say still stick to 2 to 3 colors. But if you need more colors, you can use a variant of that color, like red, right? You can use a variant of red or variant of pink or whatever color you are picking with. Just use a color just slightly different from that, a different variant of that, so it doesn't look like you are picking all new color in itself. Right. Moving on is that generally don't prefer animations in your slides, because there are enough people who suffer from motion sickness. For them, just having animations on slides can lead to motion sickness, right? Because if you, I don't know how many people know, some years back when Apple came up with one of its newer iPhone, one of the biggest complaints which a lot of people had was that there was too much motion it was reading for them. It was causing a motion sickness in them. So Apple actually had to go back and add a setting which says reduced motion. So anyone of you who has an iPhone can go and check in your settings. Under accessibility, you will find an option called reduced motion. So for people who suffer from that, there is an option to actually go ahead and turn that off. So avoid any kind of animation unless really applicable in that case. And last but not the least is, definitely have bullets. If you cases where you want to show 6 or 7 points, don't put all of them at one shot, right? You can have one at a time that comes up and it shows, so that all of this again comes back to whether you want to be the attention or whether your slide has to be the attention. Right, now the last thing, now that we have completed everything, it goes without saying that practice is what makes it the perfection. So let's look at some of the tools that you can use to practice, which might, some of these will also help in your Toastmasters speeches, not just with just general presentation. Right, starting with, if you are using Microsoft PowerPoint, if you go to slideshow option, now we have an option called Reels with Coach. Has anyone tried that? Okay, so you guys can go and try this next time. There's an option called Reels with Coach, right, which will finally give you a report like this, which mostly combines our counter report, right? Talks about your filler, your pace, right, and your how much time you took, how many slides you realized. Sorry, right? So this is really good information for you, right? I guess Udly also does something similar. So all of these tools which will help you. And in case you are somebody who uses Microsoft Teams, how many of you use Microsoft Teams? Okay, quite a few, right? So even Microsoft Teams has got something, same option called as a speaker coach, which you can automatically turn on for your meetings, and that again will do the job of the R counter along with a few other stuff of your pace and finding if you're using any offensive words and all of that. So all of this will help you become a better presenter or a better speaker. Right, with that I come to the end of my presentation. I hope you liked it.
Yes.
Yeah, if there are any question and answers, I can take them. Yeah.
Rehearse with coach, you said. So can we upload the video in that and like video in that, and will it be?
No, it's not a video, so you have to go select Rehearse with Coach. You speak as you speak, right? And it will then it will then, till the time you don't click stop, it will check all of that. It is doing your R counter plus your few other things, and at the end of it, it will give you a report saying that this is how it goes.
So
Yes,
while preparing a presentation, there is urge to add as much text on it as possible. How do you find the right balance of adding enough text and so that the presenter is not not taken the focus away from?
No, like I showed, right? Sometime like that one slide, right? You should go and look at what is the important thing in your that entire message, which was this, right? So this entire thing, right, which I had, which is what I wanted to communicate to everyone. But what is the core thing in that? Right, the core thing in that was that this is just the highlight. So I will just include this. Remaining everything, whatever you wanted to cover in the previous slide, I can just speak it out. So you need to see what is that one thing that the audience should focus their attention on. Just have that on the stage, that on the slide. Everything else can be spoken, so that the attention is on you. Because the moment people look at this, their default thing is to go and start reading what is there on the screen, right? And they are not paying attention to whatever I'm saying. Yeah. Any other questions?
Can you please move the intent slide? Yeah. Now, one minute. More where you had like 11 topics. Yeah, this one I know like hardly like 3 or 4 of them, and he knew 10. So like the intent is basically how much he knows and how much I know. Moving forward, it will become easier for him to understand the presentation, right?
No, it's about knowing your audience, right? So like something like Elvis has left the building is a very English term, saying that someone important has left the building, right? We will not use it in an Indian context. We will never say that Elvis has left the building. Half of us in India may not even know who Elvis was, right? So that is the thing. It's about knowing your audience very well. Versus something like Delulu is the only Solulu. It's only these days who are very active on social media will know the meaning of that, right? Some of us who came to know just last year what is the meaning of all of this. for us it was like Greek and Latin, right? So the purpose of this is what I'm trying to, or even right, neighbors and you honest pride. If you ask the older generation, they'll all raise their hand and say, oh, I've seen it enough times on TV, right? This is the Onida TV advertisement, right? Remember, folks? Yeah. But if I ask any of the newer generation, ask what is Onida TV? So it's like this. So you need to be very well aware of your audience. Right? To give a better example, right? One day I gave a speech. I'm sure some of you guys have heard it about me being a VP education and my journey as a VP education in a very humorous way. Okay. So when I gave it as a demo speaker at one of the conferences. Every audience member was laughing because everyone over there was a Toastmaster and could connect to that. The same fit when I give at my club, Pavani Toastmasters club, 60% of the audience are guests, only 40% are members. So for audience, for the guests, it's like they're not understanding anything. They're like simply staring and listening, and that's a normal speech. Maybe they're wondering why these people sitting in the front are laughing. I'm not able to understand. So that's what. It's very important for you to beforehand just understand whom are you presenting and accordingly tweak your content.
Okay, now one more follow-up question. Now he knew 10 of them, I knew only 3 of them. So how would you move forward after that?
No, don't look at it that way. A better example would be this, right? Say, okay, well, what do you do in terms of work?
Nothing as of now, but I'm mostly into operations and real estate, basically.
Oh, okay, right. Let's say now in my case, right? I'm a software developer, right? Whatever thing that I am working on, my team is very well aware of that. Any minute detail, so you can use all kinds of abbreviation like Delulu, right? Something very product specific abbreviations I can use, and my team will completely understand. In your case, if you use a real estate abbreviation, I'm sure when you talk to your real estate folks, they'll understand everything, right? Maybe like RERA. Right? They will all understand. But if you come and ask in this room how many of them know RERA, they will not know. So there, then you have to go take a step back and explain what RERA is, why RERA is important, and then proceed forward. So that is what I'm trying to come at in this slide. Is that you need to know your audience, right, to decide what to use and what not to use. The same content may not work when you give to a different kind of thing. Versus the same thing might work great in front of a different audience.
Okay. One more question.
Yeah, sure.
Not from this. You said like make little jokes or get up humor. How do you get up humor in like a very serious presentation?
You can. You always can. This was a serious presentation. Still, some people laugh.
Or like on a very serious topic.
You still can. Okay. You still can. Right? There are people who even in like somebody, at least in Christian tradition, they are like when somebody is dying and is being buried, somebody gives a speech. Some people even over there crack a joke about the person who has just died. Right? So as to lighten the mood or whatever, you can just make sure that at least in a corporate environment, no one gets offended by the joke that you are saying. These days, that like people taking offense has become like people very easily start taking offense to anything and everything. So just be careful and you can talk about it. Yeah.
How will you bring emotional aspects in a technical dimension presentation like?
There I don't know whether you need emotion. There is more of a logical thing, right?
Yeah.
So you don't really need the emotion.
But the audience normally go by emotions rather than logic.
Depends on the kind of, if you are trying to give a motivational presentation, there you need to bring in the audience emotion, right? But if you are giving a proper sales kind of, like a pitch to buy your product, there I don't know how much emotion would help. Versus a presentation where you're going to motivate someone, there you'll have to bring in emotion. You'll have to tell them points like for example, right? Now about Mekon, probably if you are giving some presentation at your now I guess you recently finished your 1000 whatever meet, right? That way bringing about memories of how the club started. Right? The struggles that you guys faced with and how you have reached here. Like probably during Corona it was really tough. right? All of those things when you bring in, the audience automatically, at least those members who have gone through that, will really will feel, oh yes, I have been through this. I empathize with whatever he's saying. I have gone through all of that. So using some of those things will help. But I don't think so you need for every speech, like a technical presentation. That's a technical presentation. I don't know whether I need to bring in any emotion. But if it's a presentation where you're giving to motivation, go look and see what would motivate the audience. Yeah, anything else? Yeah.
How much designing we should do? Like I understand based on the audience, but which audience what kind of design? Like the presentation which you are showing, it's simple. It just shows the content, no designing, no animation. So how should we decide that?
So go with as minimal things on the slide, right? Focus should be you. If you keep adding things on the slide, you will not be the focus. So as simple your presentation is, the better it is. As boring that you can make it, the better it is, because you want the entire focus to be you saying that okay, Prathik came and gave a really good presentation versus saying that the presentation on giving presentation was great. Right? So as simple as minimal as possible, only wherever necessary, where you really feel that hey, like adding the animation out will make sense. For example, if you are showcasing how say my goods move from say the shore to my factory, the various ways that it goes through, right? There you might want to use presentation to show that okay, this is how it goes. First step, second step, third step, like an animated way, something. But otherwise, in most cases, it's not needed. Okay, with that I come to the end of the. Yeah, thank you. With that I come to the end of the presentation. Hopefully you liked it. Yeah, that was my time, guys. Over to the Toastmasters objective.
Thank you, DTM Prathik, for that insightful presentation. Truly an inspiring reminder that small changes, small improvements in our presentation can lead to a greater success. So now it's time for a little fun and spontaneity, because we have someone who can juggle more than just sports. Not only does she balance badminton, basketball and table tennis like a pro, but she also manages to juggle fitness, food and of course adventure. Ladies and gentlemen, our table topic master for today is none other than Toastmaster Apoorva, a passionate foodie who knows how to balance indulgence with mindfulness. She's probably thinking about her next meal right now, or probably the next adventure. And if you think she's all about just sports and food, think again. Toastmaster has been her secret weapon to build confidence and sharpen her communication skills. And today, she's ready to put us on the spot with some fun and thought-provoking topics. So, fasten your seat belts and get ready as we welcome Table Topic Master, Toastmaster Apoorva.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sachin, for that such a sweet and a wonderful long introduction. I didn't know I had so many qualities. For the benefit of the good evening, fellow Toastmasters and their guests. For the benefit of the guest, let me explain how a typical table topic session goes on. A table topic session is where the speakers are chosen at random and given topics on the spot to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. Coming behind the lectern every week and giving a table topic response is itself a small win that will play a catalyst in a long way in turning it into helping you to turn into a better speaker, isn't it? So, keeping in mind today's theme, that is celebrating the small wins, I've prepared few topics for the speakers in the room. So let me quickly jump into the table topic session. And the first topic is a memorable win. A memorable win. And this topic goes to Toastmaster Shreya.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. So, I think the last time that I actually won something was in school. Since then, I haven't really participated in anything because of my stage fright. But in school, I remember when I was younger in school, like in 4th standard, my teacher asked me if I wanted to participate in a group dance. And I was so scared, I told her no. She tried convincing me so many times, but I refused every time. Fast forward to 10th standard, and we already had a dance team in our school, which didn't include me. One time what happened was someone had to drop out due to whatever their reason was, and the dance teacher asked me if I wanted to take her place instead. And 2 of my friends were on this team, and they really pushed me to kind of come and join this dance, and so I did. That was the first dance that I had ever participated in school at a inter-school competition, and we ended up winning 2nd place. Now, that win was pretty important to me because I had a part in the dance where I had to go on stage alone. So the scene was everyone was fighting behind me, and I had to come to the front of the stage and start crying. So that was the first time where I did something alone like that, and it meant a lot to me that we won that day, and my teacher told me that I did well. And it didn't push me to take part in more competitions, but later during college, that's why I came here, and now I feel like I can do anything. So that's my memorable win.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreya. The next topic is break stereotypes, celebrate losing. Break stereotypes, celebrate losing. And this topic goes to DTM U Bhat.
That's our last word.
Break stereotypes, celebrate losing. Celebrate losing.
Madam Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. The topic asked is break the stereotypes and celebrate losing. I don't know what the stereotype is about because I thought it is a natural for me. Most of the time I have been a loser. But it is not a question of celebrating, but it is a matter of fact. So there is nothing called breaking a stereotype. If you are a loser, okay, be with it. But nothing to celebrate as such, I feel. But yes, in a context which table topic master put it, why you need to celebrate? Because what happens is, probably when you break the stereotypes and start celebrating it, your failures to celebrate, that brings about, lessens probably the pain what you are feeling by celebrating. But even then, I feel that it is something I don't really think by celebrating it, you either way it will improve the situation anyway. You are just avoiding it rather than attacking the problem. So ultimately, the breaking the stereotypes of not celebrating and just paining yourself, celebrating it really doesn't help. But whatever you have failed, whatever you have done it, please attack the problem, try to do it in a different manner and try to be successful rather than just to celebrate your failure and say that, okay, I'm just enjoying it. No. Please understand, learn from the mistake and go ahead and do something better. So that's what my learning is about, because what I feel that the height of idiocy, as they say, is keep on doing the same thing and again and expecting a different result. You cannot. You have to do something get a different result. That's my take on that. Keep that back to that.
Thank you, DT member. The next topic is a memorable defeat. A memorable defeat, and this goes to Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa.
Ellargu namaskara. My speech is on memorable defeat. In fact, I am undergoing memorable defeat right now. I got a land of about 2 acres in Dabaspet, this thing. Huge building, I got huge this thing. I spent 4 crores on that land and built a magnificent building of 6 crores on that one. And the surveyor gave a wrong dimension. You can imagine that my place was here. He gave some other this thing. I built a building. Then the neighbor came and said, "You have built a." See the amount of agony I got it. The Japanese people came and wondered, "Oh, what a huge big place you have built for a factory." They were enjoying this thing, but after their departure, I came to know I have encroached the land of other person. So what to do? I have to demolish that one and facilitate him for his this thing. Now I am going to demolish. In the process, I am going to lose huge money. Really, I am in great distress. But problem comes and goes. Don't worry. I asked one fellow, he is a financer, he has given 40 crores lended money to other people. I asked him, "Have you lost money?" "Yeah, I have 1 crore, one fellow has cheated me." Will you not feel happy? No, I got the money from them only. What is there by losing 1 crore? I built the factory where I earned it. So things comes and goes, don't worry, don't be in this thing, take a precaution and try to solve the problem. Don't worry, keep in that one only. The problem is there. When there is a problem, we also know the solution. What is the solution? Demolish it and we give the land to him. And the land has gone there, other land I got it adjacent side. Be happy because you got the adjacent land. In the process, these things happen. My dear friends, it is a cycle. Ups and downs is a cycle. When you are up, enjoy. When you are down, don't worry. Solve the problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa, for showing us to see the positive side always. The next topic is lessons learned from losing. Lessons learned from losing. This goes to DTM K Prabhakara.
Today all topics are about losing. Whereas Toastmaster is all about going positive and winning. Yet we have some things to learn from losing. There are many things that I have lost in order to gain. Maybe I formed small cricket teams, street teams, captain, because I had a bat in my hand. So you have to have something in your hand in order to make things happen. But just because you won a cricket bat doesn't mean you score runs and make your team win. So this is one. And along came, you believe that you are a very brilliant man. An average kid, average scoring marks, but you think you are the genius. You hear stories from Einstein, Newton, all these things you hear, and you think one day, by the time you grow up, everything will have been invented. But that doesn't happen. But you always think you are big, but really life doesn't move that way. You are only in a niche, and in that niche, if you excel, job is done. But the losing part is that you will never finish as number one. Very few think that they can finish one and do really finish one. Take, for instance, Milkha Singh. He was one of the finest runners ever India produced. And in Rome Olympics, with all that thing that he did was, he couldn't win a medal. He finished in photo finish at that too as fourth one. He didn't win a medal. But in that defeat also, there was a lot of celebration to the extent that even today, he is the most celebrated athlete ever produced by India. So there is always grace. If you take Roger Bannister, one of the finest athletes of all time, he was the first one to run a mile under 1 minute or 4 minutes. He even goes on to say that the failure is as important as success, provided your effort is genuine. Over to table topic master.
Thank you, K Prabhakara, for that wonderful response. The next topic is small wins, big impact. Small wins, big impact. And this goes to Toastmasters Chetan.
I'd like to take the example of Roger Bannister again. When he was a little child, his dad told him that he ran a full 1.6 kilometers or a mile in 4 minutes, something that was absurd and unheard of. But Roger Bannister kept trying and trying and trying, and every time he did, he would go about 5 minutes, 1 second, 450, 452, and he kept falling, until one final day, he broke the record. But the whole time his father had deceived him. By deceiving him that he actually made this record as a kid, he managed to break the record as an adult. And he did it through a series of small wins that just kept coming. And now, when I go to swimming class, my coach does the same thing for us. He pushes us from 50 meters in a minute to slowly for 50 meters in a minute, 50 minutes in 59, 58, 57, and now we're down to 50. Of course, we're nowhere near like world records of 20 seconds or India records of 25, 26. We'll never get there, but I sure want to get better and get to those, maybe those mid 40s, mid 30s, and one day I hope through these small victories I can really get there. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chetan. The next topic is a person's win, that is your inspiration. A person's win, that's your inspiration. And this topic goes to Toastmaster Boopathi. Anybody's win, that's your inspiration. You will talk to someone who's a winner or winning story. Anybody.
Okay, usually I take class for students. One student named Vikram. He don't know maths 1, 2, 3 also. But he started to learn by my guidelines. Every day he after 10 o'clock, when I was sleeping, he called. Okay, I started teach to him, and one day he started solving math problem. Finally, he ended to solve the problems. Finally, he get the job in government exam. Okay, that I think that one story. Thank you.
The next topic is success changes the way people look at you. Success changes the way people look at you. And this topic goes to Toastmaster Sai Snehal.
Table topics master, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Let me tell you a story about someone I know from school. He was an average guy sitting in the back seat and failed almost 10 exams out of 20. He never went to do any extracurricular activities, never bothered studying, and he never did any homework. He was always in those remedial classes, and he thought, this fellow will not get far in life. That was a common perception the teacher had put on him. And it immediately became something that we all resonated with. Although I hated it, I never believed in any of those because he was a really nice guy and I believed that he had something in him. He just didn't have the right way to put it across. And today, he works in Google as a software engineer and is earning incredibly. And one day, I recently got to interact with him and he was in India last month, and I asked him, what changed? You were that person in school where you hated studying, you hated doing homeworks, and today you're working in one of the top companies in the world. And his answer was very simple. I started enjoying what I did when people around me appreciated for what I did. When I didn't do homework, this teacher used to scold me and I never bothered to do it again. But if the same teacher would have told him, it's okay, you can do it again, he probably would have done it. But today, he went back to the school, we had a DPS reunion back on Jan 4th and he was there. And all the teachers could remember him for a very strange reason, and when they asked him, what do you do now? Because teachers tend to remember the bad students over the good students. And when he said, I work at this and I do this, all of them were stunned. Their perception or the vision of how he looked totally changed. And I think this is what success does to you. And if you feel you're not there yet, don't worry. If you're successful one day, all your image perception will change and it will beat the game. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sai. The next topic is being a sore loser. Being a sore loser, and this topic goes to Toastmaster Shiva.
Thank you, Madam Topics Master, for this wonderful topic. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guest. I am the biggest sore loser out there that can be. Right? I have a small family at home, like most of you here. And growing up, I've played a lot of board games, chess, Monopoly, or card games like Uno, or playing card games. And every single time that I get close to losing, I don't. I either win or the board doesn't exist anymore. So even though now I'm 25 years old, I still haven't gotten over it. When I'm playing and I see my sister sitting in front of me, and that smug smile appears on her face, I can't take it anymore. I just flip the board, and then my parents remind me that I'm 25 years old now. I need to learn how to accept defeat, and this is not a real game and all of that. But whatever it is that you're playing, I believe you have to play it in a competitive spirit. And only when you flip that board and your sibling or your friend who's sitting opposite to you finally declares, even though you flipped the board, I'm still the winner. You say, no, it was cancelled midway. I never lost. That feeling is something that remains as a memory. And even though right now I have zero idea what I'm saying, I'll hand the charge back to the table topics master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shiva. The next topic is a small win that made a huge difference to you and your life. A small win that made a huge difference to you and your life. And this topic goes to Toastmaster Sindhu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Apoorva. Such a wonderful topic. So this actually the story that I shared with you was my IAC speech at area level at some point. And after I delivered the speech, I didn't go back to stage for a year almost. So this is a very personal story in my life where, in one of my engineering exams, I failed one of the semester exams. This was so unacceptable to me at all, not even just to myself, for my entire family. Because till then, at my age, till then I reached that particular level of education, I used to be at least in top 10 ranks of the class. I used to be in the top 5. Or I used to always score distinction. The word as somewhere in B or 85, even 90 was not acceptable to anybody in the family. Coming from my dad, who is a gold medalist in economics from Mysore University, my mom being the topper in MA Hindi, and me being that person who's always scored distinction, always focused on studies. And even the hobby that I had was all about reading, studying, knowing more, reading novels and fictions. So somewhere when I flunked that one exam, everything around me changed. And I thought my father was somebody who would not accept this defeat. My father is not somebody who will understand what I am going through. And my lecturers in college were surprised that I had failed this exam. Just 2 subjects, not much difference to the entire curriculum of the engineering, just 2 subjects, because of which I had faced a backlog. And automatically the person for 1 week I was in this huge stress that my parents, my lecturers will never understand what I'm going through. But automatically once my dad found out, not by me of course, and my lecturer called him up and he told him, everything changed. He accepted me, he said it's okay, everybody fails. He got the papers, he told mistakes happen, and automatically in the next exam I cleared the exam. VTU credits, not sure what happened, not exactly know why exactly I flunked, but in the next exam I passed in almost good marks. But that one win made me understand what my father is. Till then, I only saw my father as somebody who pushed me to score distinction. Above 95% was the target, not even 90 above was not the target. So that day I understood that I have a great father who stands by me through all my difficulties and my downfalls, and also supports me in my growth. So that was one special win for me and a very personal story.
Thank you for sharing that personal story. The next topic is winning by losing. Winning by losing, and this topic goes to DDM Udanka. We're all losing.
I'm not sure why Apoorva is going against the theme today, because it says small wins and you're all talking about losing. And anyways, what is one thing I won and lost is I'm not sure what exactly I have gone through those. But one incident which actually turned my life is when I lost my dad. So there was an incident where the doctors told he's out of danger from the jaundice infection what he had. So it was just a week's time, and I was celebrating that me and my mom and my grandparents were happy that he's recovering from the what they say called black jaundice, which is very deadliest. He was recovering from that. I was all happy with it because after 3 months of struggle, he was actually going through a good phase and he's recovering from what he was suffering. While that enjoyment was happening, I get a call from my college saying that you're finally getting graduated and this is the moment for you. There were 2 win situations for me that weekend. I was the most happiest person, I would say, for that week. And all of a sudden, that evening shattered me because all I heard was my dad told, I have to go to the hospital, I have to rush. The moment I go get the car, he was on the floor. A lot of things happened that day. That loss made me think a lot of things, changed my perspective of how I see things. A lot of changes happened that hence after. So I understood one thing that day: whatever we are doing, whatever the win we have for that particular moment might not be the permanent one, or might not be an actual win. It might be an actual win later days, or it might be a biggest losing for your life. So think before you celebrate. Yes, if you know me well, I celebrate small things also, but while I'm celebrating, I think of what it is happening next. So that's one small take about it. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster DDM Udanka. The next topic is winning and confidence are interrelated. Winning and confidence are interrelated. This topic goes to Toastmaster Saketh.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. So, winning and confidence are interrelated. This I recently understood after I passed my September exam for CA Inter Group 2. So basically, at the beginning of 24, I failed Group 2, and for May I put in a lot of preparation, more than for my Group 1 or for any of my studies from school to PU. And somehow I failed in May attempt, and I was shattered to an extent that I felt like quitting. But somehow, I don't know what happened, but I just registered for the exam. And my preparation only started in August mid. And one thing I did this time, little different, was I applied for my papers and I saw the mistakes where I went through. And I had only 2 papers to write, auditing and FM and SM. And I realized I messed up FM and SM big time. So I focused entirely on it, and I made sure that I get an exemption, that is getting 60 marks and above. And to my surprise, or not surprisingly, for my September exam, the intention I had at the beginning somehow was coming to an end that I might not pass this time as well. And I just left it, and let's see what happens on the result day. And on the result day, I passed. I mean, spoiler, I don't think so. But I just saw one paper which I wanted to see the most. That was FM and SM, which I wanted to get an exemption, and I got. And I was very happy because I was very confident with my preparation only for that paper, because I didn't study for audit. It was only a few days before the exam that I studied, but it was that confidence, that preparation that helped me get an exemption, which was my winning paper. So if you feel that you might lose something and might give another chance, just focus on it and prepare well for it, and you definitely win with confidence. Thank you. And
Thank you, Mr. Saketh. The next topic is, how do you celebrate your wins? How do you celebrate your wins? And this goes to Toastmaster Sachin.
So, how I celebrate my wins. So this takes me back to 5th standard. So I was very good at chess, and I remember I participated at district level. Then I came first. So how I celebrated? It may sound weird, but this is how I used to celebrate. First of all, let me tell you, I was a foodie. I just loved eating. So once my father just told me that if you come top 3, I'll buy you a pizza, garlic bread, everything. So and it gave me more motivation, and that's how I actually came first, and I got my wish. Actually, the funny thing is, I was more happy that I was gonna eat than actually won the competition. So this was one of them, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sachin. The next topic is, winning is everything. Winning is everything, and this topic goes to Toastmaster Gajendra.
I've actually not won a lot in my life, but the ones which I've won are like very memorable ones. The recent, like I can give you like hundreds of examples of my winnings, but let me just give you one. I recently played badminton. Like I don't consider playing badminton with Shiva, all of you, but sorry, because of the ones which I play, it's like more. I'm very competitive playing badminton. Like I trash talk a lot, and I just start teasing them, and like even if I lose a point, I don't mind. But when they lose a point, I just make their confidence. Like I just started their confidence down. So recently, I think last year September, I played badminton after almost 4 years, and just after that in December, I think we played in January. I don't know when we played, but we played in January here. And just the next week, I played with some random people on my map. And they were like very competitive, and they were like very advanced people. And while playing, when you're playing badminton, you first start playing with rallies, you just start simply hitting the shuttle. And I'm a very lazy person, so when it's not important, I don't move much. So you should just keep smashing and should like, so I should not do anything. But we made teams, and I won all the 3 games, including like whoever played with me. And I felt like very nice that time. And they were just looking at me, they were like, man, this guy just hustled us. Like, he acted like he doesn't know how to play much. So for me, that winning is like, it just got me like, it actually just made me proud about myself, because like within a span of 2 games I played, I got back my 4 years of practice back. So that's it to my take.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gajendra. With this, we come to the end of the table topic session. I would like to hand over the charge to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sachin.
Next is the session which we are all waiting for, refreshment for 5 minutes. Then we will conclude with the evaluation session. Now it's time for our session 3, that is the evaluation session. Our general evaluator today is someone with vast experience in estate planning, financial advising, and a certified lay counselor. If you ever need advice about life or finances, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra is your go-to person. I can personally vouch for this because once he counseled me, and he's genuinely one of the nicest and most insightful people you will ever meet. So, get ready for some valuable feedback. Please join me in welcoming our general evaluator, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra.
Thank you, MC, for your wonderful and insightful introduction. The first time that I got a wonderful introduction by MC. Give her a big round of applause. Good evening, Toastmasters. Welcome guests. My role as a GE is to evaluate entire proceedings of the meeting, starting till now. The meeting started 12 minutes late, which probably, as per our standards, we should wake up and see that this is not going to be repeated. We all are professionals. Couple of meetings back, we all decided that 15 minutes earlier we all come and assemble. What happened to our rules that we have taken? Acting President, I want your attention please. Couple of meetings back we took home, no?
Sir? Yes, sir.
We took home to come here 10 or 15 minutes earlier. This is a reminder again. Please let us make it as a practice next time onwards, so that at least we will start it well on time. And starting our meeting by Toastmaster Jyothi. Her starting was fantastic. Voice and modulation were very fine. And her introduction and the transition part of it is wonderful. And she deserves a big round of applause. Coming to the secretary, she also read the minutes of the meeting well, so that all of us could understand what the previous meeting was. She did a wonderful job. She also needs a good round of applause. Coming to the education session today, some valuable inputs were given. Why I say so? Some of the questions answered by the presenter tells about the quality of the presentation as such. He deserves a big round of applause. One of the most important and the interesting session today is Master of Ceremonies. She gave a wonderful theme. Each one of us, in one way or the other, have one in a small way in our lives. That really made me to think about my own various wins in my life, apart from major failures also. She spoke well on the theme and she introduced the president well, and her transitions in between were very good. She handled, though it is her first MC role, I did not find her to be a first time MC role taking person as such. So wonderful job done by her. Give her a big round of applause. Coming to table topic master, you have given around 11 to 12 topics as such. All were related to themes. All of the members could answer. In my view, just sticking only to the theme, that gives members an idea that even though you give a topic, that topic seems to be very familiar to all of them. So where is the question of listening, preparing and delivery part of it? Keeping this in mind, next time you bring a different topics altogether, you can keep 1 or 2 or 3 as far as the theme is concerned. Suddenly shift to a different topic altogether, so that you will be bringing a different dimension to your own topics as such. So try that out, you will be successful, I know that. You will do that. Give table topic master a big round of applause. Now coming to TAPG team, I will read out the name. Please give your reports accordingly. Timer Toastmaster Sachin.
So good evening everyone. So here's my report as the timer. The meeting commenced at 6:27. Coming to the business session, time allotted was 3 minutes. Time taken 40 seconds. Welcome by Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Jyothi. Time allotted 2 minutes. Time taken 1 minute 48 seconds. Coming to the President address, Toastmaster Pavani. Time allotted 5 minutes. Time taken was 6 minutes 27 seconds. A report on previous meeting done by Toastmaster Shreya. Time allotted 2 minutes. Time taken 2 minutes 2 seconds. So today was a bit different. We had the education session, so there were no prepared speeches. So the time allotted for the education session was 20 to 35 minutes. Time taken was 30 minutes 29 seconds by Toastmaster Prathik. Coming to the table topic session, allotted time was 1 to 2 minutes. So Toastmaster Shreya took 1 minute 41 seconds. Toastmaster U Bhat 2 minutes 6 seconds. Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa 2 minutes 3 seconds. Toastmaster K Prabhakara 2 minutes 15 seconds. Toastmaster Chetan 1 minute 23 seconds. Toastmaster Boopathi 52 seconds. Toastmaster Sai Snehal 2 minutes 4 seconds. Toastmaster Shiva 1 minute 25 seconds. Toastmaster Sindhushree 2 minutes 29 seconds. Toastmaster Udanka 2 minutes 2 seconds. Toastmaster Saketh 2 minutes 21 seconds. I took 1 minute 12 seconds. Toastmaster Gajendra 1 minute 36 seconds. And the break time allotted was 5 minutes. It took 9 minutes 4 seconds.
Thank you, Taimur. Now I will call PP Toastmaster Saketh to give his report.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. As PP, today no one entered or exited the room without an applause. Everyone left during an applause. There was no one who spoke behind the lectern regarding sex, religion, or politics, and there was no phone ring during the session. So it's a small win, and many more wins to come.
Now, our counter, Toastmaster Boopathi.
Good evening, everyone. As a counter, here is my report. Toastmaster Jyothi 1 hour, Toastmaster Pavani 5 hour, Toastmaster Sakshi 4 hour, Toastmaster Sachin 3 hour. As a counter, I used 2 hour. Grammarian, Toastmaster Gajendra no hours. Speaker Prathik used 15 hours. 5 am, and repeated ways and over if as what there are. Okay. Table topic speeches. Toastmaster Apoorva no hours. Toastmaster Shreya 1 am. Toastmaster U Bhat no hours. Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa no hours. Toastmaster K Prabhakara no hours. Toastmaster Chetan no hours. Toastmaster Boopathi 3 hours. Toastmaster Sai Snehal no hours. Toastmaster Shiva no hours. Toastmaster Sindhu no hours. Toastmaster Udanka no hours. Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa no hours. Thank you.
So, Gajendra, Grammarian.
While being the grammarian, I had an epiphany that my English is not that great. So moving forward, the word of the week was epiphany and used by 3 people, that is myself, Toastmaster Sakshi twice, and our guest speaker, TTM Prathik once. Good uses of English words, the ones which I didn't understand, I've written them. Inculcate this habit. That's one thing I didn't understand.
What was that?
Inculcate this habit. Yeah. And one like bad, not bad either, something to correct is Toastmaster Sakshi. It's not my anniversary, it's our anniversary. Yeah. And that's it.
Now, as far as the timer is concerned, just I would like to give one input to you. Today's entire one, we never had the speeches. You said about 5, 6, 7, etc. There was no speeches at all. He should have taken care of it. So otherwise, I mean, VP should have told timer to take care of all those areas. No? Because when a professional person has come, we need to keep up our professionality also. So keeping that in mind, just I am giving an input. Otherwise, it should not be taken as otherwise also, right? With this, I think I have completed everyone. I have not left anyone. It's a wonderful meeting. Thank you, and back to you, Mr. Prathik.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay, for the wonderful, insightful evaluation. To conclude this meeting, I would like to give a small, simple message with the theme. These small celebrations, whether it's finishing a task, completing a speech, or just getting through a busy day, are what truly makes a life beautiful and enjoyable. They remind us that progress is a journey, not a destination. So let's keep celebrating those little victories. They add up to something bigger than we ever imagined. After all, life is too short not to celebrate the small wins along the way. With that, I hand over the charge to Toastmaster Apoorva, who will announce today's winner. Or Toastmaster Sindhushree, who will announce today's winners.
Toastmaster Sakshi. I think we had a wonderful session today and a lot of valuable take-backs to take back with you and giving a presentation or thinking of preparing for a speech. You can always take back and think and look at what you want to do. And along with that, I think after a long time we had Vijay Upendra who take up general evaluation session for the club, and it definitely requires a huge amount of applause from our end, and ask him to take this more often as well. And the first time we had a debutant role taker, that is Toastmaster Sakshi as MC, and we had Toastmaster Boopathi as our accountant for the first time. And anytime you get more first time role takers on the stage, please applaud them, please listen to them, encourage them as much as possible, so that they keep coming back to us, they keep taking up more roles, and we keep getting to hear to them more often. And to just proceed today with the winners of the meeting, I'll just announce it. Thank you so much. So the best table topic speaker for the day today is Toastmaster. There's actually two speakers today. We have Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa and Toastmaster Shivaprasad. So can we have both of them on the stage? And the best TAPG role takers for the day, the best role taker is our Grammarian Toastmaster Gajendra. And our best MTG, we have our debutant role taker for today, who is the best MTG, that is Toastmaster Sakshi. Please give her a Thank you so much. With that, thank you so much for attending this wonderful session. I request you all to come back to our sessions again and again. Let's close the meeting 1302 and let's have a national anthem, and then I'll request all of the national pictures.